It's Runaway Love, man. We on Hot Block with it. Shout out to Humble Souls coming through. Good interview, you feel me? Y'all stay tuned. Dropping some jewels, you feel me? Across the halfway.
AHumbleSoul, we checking back in, man. Another exclusive. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all know what's going on, man. Mr. Runaway Love. Checking in with Humble Souls, man. You know we had to get to it.
Oh, you already know, bro. I appreciate you chopping it up with me, dog.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man, so we broadcasting live from the Inktown right now.
Yeah, we in Compton with it, you feel me? It's not my side of town, but, you know.
Yeah, I know you across the Ave, huh?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Across the Ave, huh?
Yeah, I'm Hot Block. I'm Hot Block too, for real. That's
sure.
where we at, but I'm across the Ave.
For sure. So man, Mr. Runaway Love, bro. You know, I did my research. You know, I started checking out some of your projects, bro. And also your merchandise, like all around. You know, you talented, dog.
Thank you.
And I really want to, you know, kind of get into your brain, man, to understand like what's the inspiration behind everything. So just jumping it off, man. I mean, tell us a little bit about Across the Ave, man. So born and raised in Inkster, or you know, so how was it coming up? What was the household like? What was the environment like for you, bro?
Coming up, it was cool. My mom and my dad was married. You know, growing up, they got a divorce when I was like 3 or 4. You know, he moved out. My mama got 2 other kids. You feel me? So, mama trying to take care of 3 kids. We young. Shit, it was, you know, every typical black story. You feel me? Mama struggling to get it. You know, we making it look good. You know, she made sure we had a crib. We had clothes on our back. You know, once we got older and shit, it's easier to dress females. You know, you can go and get your daughters some leggings, little baby doll shoes and shit like that. You feel me? With me, it's a little different. You know, so shit, I just had to learn how to hustle a little early. You know, and start making my own cheese early. And that's what ventured me off from really being a businessman, just hustling so soon, so early. It was just like I just got exposed to so much revenue and so many different avenues. It was just like, okay, how can I monetize all this income? You feel me? And I was just like the business route.
Now, before we even jump into all of that, I definitely want to talk about your clothing line. Just, I guess, whatever other business endeavors you have going on. But before that, so you said 2 other siblings. So were you the big brother, or you the middle child, the youngest?
I'm the baby.
You the baby?
I got more than just 2 other siblings, but I'm the baby for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what, sisters, brothers? What?
All sisters.
All sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got 2 brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you said initially 2-parent household before your parents divorced. Okay. But you said you were young when they divorced.
Yeah, I was like 4.
Yeah. Okay. So coming up in Inkster, man, you know, after the split, I know you mentioned like really getting out there to make your own money, but before all of that, like, how did that impact you? Like going from having 2 parents in the household to, I guess I don't know if you're splitting time between the 2, or you still staying with your moms primarily?
Yeah, we all still stay with my mom. We had go to our dad's house, you know, sometimes on the weekend, stuff like that. We had breaks from school, you know. Like, being older, you understand how custody worked, you feel me, in the eyes of the court, you feel me. So we was just doing, you know, like typical, okay, she got primary custody, you got to see them at least a couple days, you feel me, boo boo boo. And that's just how it was. You know, sometimes we seen them, sometimes we didn't see them.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do want to ask you about the relationship you had with your father, because I understand that he passed away.
Yeah.
And you mentioned in one song that you wish that y'all were on better terms before he passed away, if you could do it all over again, you know. Because I think you said you got a sign like he's from heaven or something like that, and in a different song, I think like your Meek Mill flow or something like that, you mentioned them about y'all wasn't there on the best terms. But like, how was your relationship with him, man, throughout the years, you know? up until his passing?
It was, it was, it was difficult, because we had a rocky relationship, like as a child, like me growing up as a kid, it was different. You feel me? It was like I was kind of like the oddball, you know, and I didn't understand. I got good grades. I was always on the honor roll, straight A's, all A's and a B or something. I was smart as hell, good at sports. You feel me? So I'm thinking I'm the perfect son, in my eyes. But like he just had internal issues that I just didn't understand as a child. So without him having a role model of a father or a male figure for him to model after, you feel me? He could only do to his best ability. You feel me? So I don't know. It's just like he'd go a year or two without talking to me at all. I'm in a house with all females, you feel me? So, you my pops, it's stuff that's going on in my life, I need to talk to you about, but you feel me, you being weird. So it was just, I don't know, some stuff I just had to figure out on my own. Like, I taught myself how to do everything that I know how to do, you feel me? Like, I taught myself how to hoop. I taught myself how to play football, and, you feel me, my sisters helped me learn how to tie my shoe. But like everything that I learned when I first got off the porch, you feel me, like it was just, I had to hit my head every time because I ain't had nobody to show me nothing, you feel me. So with him being in and out, it was just like, I don't know, I really don't know, you feel me. It was a little difficult because I just didn't understand why. It's not like my mama was keeping us from you, you feel me, like you had full access, you just chose to do other stuff, and it's different, for some people who don't really know their father, they don't have him around. I knew mine, you feel me? So it was like, he knew me. So like, it was different between them not knowing each other, stuff like that. You don't really know. But he knew who I was, you feel me? He just chose not to be around from time to time. So, like my stepfather when my mom got remarried, and my godfather, you feel me? Them two always played major roles into who I am today. But me and my father, we kind of just, I don't know what it was, you feel me? Because I don't know what it was on my end that made him feel the way he used to feel or act the way he used to act, you feel me? Besides me just understanding it was internal. Mm-hmm. So before he passed away, we had got into a big altercation. You feel me? And it almost got physical to the point where, like, he wasn't going to come back around. And I was still staying at my mom's house at the time.
What age are you?
I think I had turned, 21? Oh, I was like 22. I had just got kicked out of college. I was going to Bowling Green and had just got kicked out of college. I had an apartment in Ohio, and our apartment had got raided. And we got sued by the apartment. And I had got kicked out of school. So I had to come back to the crib. I came back to the crib. And I was working. And then I had quit my job to start my brand. I already had the brand started, you feel me? I already was legit. Sales just started picking up. And I was at work so much, I was falling short of my own obligations, you feel me? So I was like, quit. Me and him wasn't even talking, like before I even did that, me and him wasn't talking. So I had quit. My sisters had told him, and it was not, they ain't like telling like, yeah, he was just like, like how he been doing at the job, and it was like, oh, he had quit. He lost it. He pulled up to my mama's crib tripping, and we got into a big altercation, and it almost got physical. And that was the last time we had spoke. And then my godfather had passed away shortly after that. And I was his best friend. But, he know that my godfather really raised me. So, he knew how bad, we ain't really talked then either. He said, only thing he said to me after that happened was, you got to take care of this household too. And he was talking about my godmother and it was just like, like it kind of fucked me up because it was like, dang, like that's all you can say to me. Like you feel me? You don't feel like you should apologize or nothing. So I was just like, all right. And then at that point, I was just washed up with it. You feel me? I was like, it is what it is. But his health had started deteriorating itself. You feel me? And then he had been reaching out to me, but you know, I was so fed up with it. You know, I was just like, it's whatever. I'm a grown man now at this point. You feel me? I'm like 20, 23, 24. No, I'm about 24, 25. You feel me? I'm grown at this point. I'm handling business. I'm doing, you know, I'm on my own. I'm doing well. I'm straight. You feel me? You can't keep coming in and out of my life when you feel like you need to. You feel me? Like it's too much. So I was just like, I'm straight. So I end up I just ignoring him. He'll reach out to me. He'll write me on Facebook, or he'll have my sisters. You know, he'll call them and be like, you know, tell them I want to meet. I was just ignoring it. I'm like, all right, I'm straight. But you know, I started to really want to give in. And then I had a show at Hard Body.
What's that? What's Hard Body?
It's a strip club.
Okay.
I had a show at Hard Body, and me and my little cousin, we was leaving out, and the police had yanked and cut us off, searched the car. They found a gun in the car. So I had ended up taking that charge, but I was locked up. So I get out of jail. Like 2 days later, my sisters called me like, my daddy missing. So I'm like, what? So his home, you know, he was a professional bowler. He used to bowl. So some of his homeboys that you know, like he still bowl with, they had called my sisters like, hey, we haven't heard from your pops. It's unusual. It's been like 2-3 days. You know, like we worried. You know, like what's going on? So my sister was like, oh, he probably just one of his moods. You know, that's how he get. Like if he don't want to be bothered, he want to talk to you. That's how he used to deal with me. You feel me? He'd go 2 years without saying one word to me, and I'd just be like, all right. But so you know, we all like he just in one of them moods. But he don't ignore my sisters. You feel me? So when she called and he ain't pick up, or he ain't call back, she like, okay, something really is wrong. So we finally found him 3 days later. After that, we found him. He was at the hospital, and then by the time we found him, he was unresponsive, and he was on life support. So, you know.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
And what was he battling?
So he had cancer. He had cancer, but his cancer had went away.
Stop. Good,
My bad, y'all. Step right in this shit. It's been a very, 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 very long day, man.
What was that?
I went and got all the kids.
You got all of them right now?
Yeah, man, I went and got all their ass, bro.
What's the deal, buddy?
Yeah, Uncle look like he might not
So
make it.
now Louis, man.
Damn.
I got all that nigga kids in there.
So you good?
It's hot. Y'all niggas ain't hot?
Oh yeah,
You stayed in.
Yeah, I stopped. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you saw my the part about you said he had cancer.
Yeah, so he had cancer, and when he found out he had cancer, he was on the waiting list to receive a kidney. And when it was his time to receive a kidney, he couldn't because he was on a cancer list. You know, as a cancer patient, you know, like if you're sick, you feel me? He couldn't receive the kidney because he had cancer. So I don't know the technicalities behind it, but that was the reason why they took him off the list. Once he got rid of the cancer, they was gonna put him back on the list, but it still wasn't no telling him when he could receive a kidney. We had tried to, you know, give him a kidney, but he had already predetermined to the doctors, you know, like, I'm not gonna accept none of my kids' organs. Like, that's dead, you feel me? So we wasn't even an option. Even though I would have been a perfect match, we wasn't an option. So with his kidneys, he was a diabetic. So with his kidneys going down, we just feel like he probably just wasn't on top of taking care of his medicine and stuff like that. Because he was well capable of taking care of himself. But you feel me? Like, he just lost his best friend. And then he probably felt like he lost his son too. So, you know, he just was just letting go. So he was driving. They said he ended up having a heart attack. He ended up having a heart attack while driving. And ended up crashing into another car. So then he got picked up by the ambulance, and they said he made it to the hospital. He was responsive, and he was asking for my sisters. You know, he was telling the nurse to call my sisters and stuff like that, but they wouldn't call. They end up labeling him as a John Doe. So the whole process of us trying to find him, we couldn't find him. You feel me? Because when we was calling the hospital, we was giving him his name, but he wasn't under his name. He was underneath a John Doe. You feel me? Because like once you go into the hospital underneath a certain trauma, they label you as that for your own safety. But in this case, you feel me?
Yeah.
The hospital policies kinda ruined it. You know? So yeah, he was unresponsive. By the time we found him, he ended up having multiple strokes and multiple heart attacks. And they called him, he was in a vegetable state. Yeah, so they were like, he could hear, but that was about it. And so they had a meeting with us after like the second day of us going to the hospital. So it would have been his 5th day at the hospital, our 2nd day. They told us about his state, and they were telling us he's having strokes still and heart attacks still, so he's in pain. And they gave us the option, you know, to pull the plug. So like the 2nd day of us finding him, it was like, you know, y'all gotta yank that cord pretty much.
Yeah.
They gave us the option. There was like he's never gonna be, if you recover, he's never gonna be the person that y'all know. Like he's gonna be a vegetable, pretty much. So, you know. So we waited like I think like a couple of days. We had a conversation with everybody, all the sisters and brothers, the grandkids, and some of our cousins and aunts on his side of the family, and we all made that decision.
Oh, so nobody had like a difference in opinion. Like some didn't want to keep him on life support.
No, only because he was having strokes and heart attacks, you know.
While he was on life.
Yeah, so while he was on life support, he's in pain, like real pain, and he can't express it.
He's suffering.
So he's suffering. So it was just like, it was a no-brainer, you know.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I lost my father too, man. He had like heart failure, and it went from just being heart failure to lung failure, kidney failure, and ultimately we decided to pretty much do the same thing, man, because he was suffering for so long.
Yeah,
it's just kind of it's tough, man, to see like somebody you love, man, going through that. Bro.
And then, so we had to pull the plug. We pulled the plug. As soon as they we watched him die, you know, like so. Like,
same.
So that shit fucked us up.
That's
and
crazy.
Then, less than a year after that, my stepdad passed away.
What?
At the crib, I walked in the crib, my mom screaming, holding my stepdad, rocking back and forth.
Wow.
Yeah, my sister's house was blowing my phone up, and it was early, you know. Early, it was about like 7, 8 in the morning. My sister's calling me. They don't, you feel me? My one sister don't ever wake up that early. For one, I mean, she do now because she has a job. But
so you knew something was off.
Yeah, you know, for her to be calling me, I'm thinking, because, you know, I had my nephew at the time, you know. I really raised my nephew, you feel me? So, like how my godfather raised me, you know, I take care of my nephew. So, I had him, I know I'd be up, make sure he up so I can give him breakfast, and then he'd do his school stuff. So my sister's calling me. I'm like, okay, they probably just trying to ask me if he up and ready to do what he gotta do for school and stuff like that. So I'm ignoring it. I'm like, they know better than just be asking me stuff like that. Like I ain't on top of it. So then my other sister called me. So I'm like, this not normal. You feel me? She called me this early, and then she just called me right after that. So I ain't answer neither. My first sister called me again. I answer. She like, you probably want to make your way to mama house. I'm like, what's wrong? She was like, I'm like, is it Charlie? She like, yeah, that's my stepdad. She like, yeah. I'm like, what's going on? She like, you just need to make it to mama house. So I got my nephew still. You know, I'm like, he got to stay here. Like, I got to leave him at the crib. I'm flying. I'm on the freeway. I'm flying. My other sister called me. I answered. She told me he passed away while I was on the freeway. I almost smacked up. So then I make it to my mama crib. When they call me, I'm under the impression that, you know, it happened early, you know. Everything that transpired, the ambulance done came and went, you feel me? I'm just pulling up. No, like, it just happened. So when I pull up, you know, like, my mama's, she in there and she's screaming, like, what am I going to do? Like, as soon as I walk in, she looking at me like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And he in her arms, you feel me? I'm like, man, I just had to walk out the crib.
Man,
Yeah.
that gotta be traumatizing, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Okay.
So you don't went through some major tough periods in your life.
Yeah, man, we done lost friends, parents, you feel me, loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.